Hello, everyone, and welcome to another week in our fourth grade class. Hello, if you're new to my channel, my name is Mariely Sanchez, and I'm a fourth grade teacher in South Florida. I'm coming to you on Monday, September 11th, 2023, and it is the start of week 5 of this 2023-2024 school year. It is the end of the day. The students were just recently dismissed. I'm about to get my things and get going because, as you may have seen from the previous video, I did get really sick last week and I'm still recovering. I did pretty good today. I just feel really tired and just weak. So I'm gonna grab my things after this clip and go home so I can continue resting and just hydrating and getting better. So today, my morning group, my block 1, they finished their Wonders test for unit 1, weeks 1 and 2, except for 2 students, I think, 1 or 2 students. One of them was not here today. So one of them is almost done. He has like maybe 2 questions to answer. So he'll finish that tomorrow. And that's pretty much what we did with that group because everyone else who was finished were working on their iReady minutes or my on reading. So then I have my block 2, which is my ESOL group, my ELL learners. For that group, what we ended up doing was starting the new unit. So I introduced it with the essential question. I used the ELL PowerPoint that our district provides. And I also showed them the weekly opener video. We did the study blast. I did the read aloud. And then we ended up catching up on some notes in our reading notebook. So let me show you that right now. So here is my reading notebook for my block 2 class. And what we ended up doing was taking some notes on the skills that we were focusing on with that first unit. So we did a page on compare and contrast, a page on diagrams and headings, and a page on multiple meaning words so that they have that available in their notebooks. As I did this, I did realize that I could just type these up and have them in for the future, just have them tape it so it doesn't take a long time, because I did have to wait a while for students to finish writing their notes. So that's definitely a good tip to have for next time. I know I'm going to need my block 1 to also add these notes into their notebook. So for them, I'm thinking I am going to just create it digitally and just have them tape it into their notebooks. That just cuts down on time waiting for them to write it all down. So that's what I am thinking of doing for that. So that's what we ended up doing. We do have a lot to catch up on, especially with the writing, since I wasn't here, and we need to make sure we finish that first essay by the end of this week, and we're not in the body paragraphs yet. So there's, things we need to do. So I hope that I have time to do that. I think what I'm going to do is tomorrow I may focus on writing first and then dive into reading so that I just get it done and done at the beginning of class. So anyway, that's what I wanted to catch up on for today, Monday. I will see you tomorrow. Hello everyone, welcome back to Tuesday. So it's the end of the day and I just finished doing some paperwork that I needed to finish. Had a really great day with the students. And what did we do today? My ESOL class this morning was working on some vocabulary. So I gave them a vocabulary map and I gave them the definition and the synonyms to kind of help them out. All I wanted them to do was use the word in a sentence. Looking back, I realized that they needed a little bit more support since I did expect them to use these words in a simple sentence using the word according to the meaning of the word. So I think what I'm going to do for tomorrow when they do the other 4 words is to give them some sentence frames so that they can go ahead and write their sentences and then draw their picture that goes with it. These are the vocabulary maps. So we're doing the word accountable, advise, desperately, and hesitated. And I show them an example and I didn't mind that they copied this one, but for the other ones that we're going to do later, we're definitely going to go ahead and do the sentence frame. So I am accountable for doing my homework and I did translate the words for the students so that they knew. And here's a picture of a hand and a pencil doing homework. And here to give one opinion or to inform, counsel, or teach, that's advise. And then on the back, desperately, which translates really well in Spanish, desesperadamente, to try anything to change a hopeless situation, extremely, and hesitated, to have waited or stopped, especially because of feeling unsure waited or pondered. So I told them this is dudar. So all they needed to do was write a sentence and draw the picture. In order to give them support while they were doing that, because I did want them to practice their English and write it in English, I did tell the students that if they wanted, I could help them translate the sentence that they were trying to write. And that's what I did. And I used sticky notes and I wrote the sentence so that they could write it. So that's what they did for my homeroom class. And this obviously took a while, and it incorporated, the understanding of the vocabulary and writing and speaking and listening. So all of that. With my afternoon group, we were working on catching up on our writing since I haven't been here, and we were testing last week for 2 big days. So we worked on the whole entire time in doing that. And then in the afternoon, once they came back from specials, they needed a break. So we did some mindfulness. And I read them an article about the Gregorian calendar since it came up, about the calendars. It was just something that we were talking about. They wanted to learn more about the names of the month and how we get July and August and all that. So here's my writing notebook so I can show you what we ended up doing. So this is the prompt again. We're writing an essay on whether people should build in flood zones. And we have already gathered notes on the sources. And today we've wrapped up on doing the buckets. So this is the bucket for the point of view that we should not build in flood zones. And then we went into writing introductions. So this is the introduction for not building in flood zones. So we have an opener, which grabs our reader's attention, and we end with our claim to state our side of this argument. So I not only gave them an example for the no, we shouldn't build in flood zones, but I do have some students that are doing this claim, which is yes, we should build in flood zones. So here's an example of an introduction for that. And then I drew a little image to help them understand the different parts of the essay that they're writing about. So they have their introduction, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, and conclusion. And of course, remembering to indent at the beginning of our paragraphs. Just doing scaffolds and helping the students understand the expectations of writing an essay. And we are starting with 2 body paragraphs for this first one. And then in the future, we may add a third one if the prompt lends itself to a third paragraph. I don't like to say a specific number of paragraphs that they need to write in their body because it kind of locks them into a formula. So I tell them 2 or more depending on the topic, the prompt, and the information that you gather from the sources. So that is what we ended up doing for writing today. And I also had collaborative planning, and they asked us to bring some samples. So I brought 3 of my student samples, and I also showed them what I've been doing with my gifted students with this prompt to kind of scaffold it for them. And I cannot find my own writing notebook. So I may have to create a new writing notebook just for my second class because I have no idea where it is. But I did take 2 student samples from that class. This is one of them right here. So for my ELL class, they still have their analyzing the prompt, which we did. And they have their notes, but with their notes, we only focused on 2 sources. And with their essay planning, I gave them this. So they had their little sentence frames where they fill in their claim. So people in this case should not build in flood zones, and they're only working on 1 body paragraph. So here we decided, because hurricanes cause a lot of damage, we gathered the evidence for that, and then they restate their claim in the conclusion. Again, I gave them some sentence frames to do that. And that is how I scaffolded for my ELL students. I also realized that yesterday I didn't tell you how I planned for my sub last week. Last week I did 2 sub plans, one for Wednesday and one for Friday. Since Thursday they were taking a test, so they didn't really need plans per se for those days. Right here you can see the document that I printed out or that I sent to my team on my sub plans. I just kept it simple. And with my ELL class, since they can't really read the story on their own and complete it, I actually had them do the scaffolded paper on the main selection so that they can do it with a partner and complete it and answer the different questions as they read the passage with a partner. So they completed this while I was gone on Wednesday. And on Friday, I left this as my sub plans so that students could finish whatever they weren't able to finish on Wednesday. And if they were done, they could go ahead and work on something new, which is the shared read for the current unit that we're on. And for my ELL class, they had to fill in the story elements chart or graphic organizer so that they can write the different parts of the story of the talent show. So that's a little glimpse into the days that I wasn't here, so you have more of an idea of what I did in on our last 2 days. So I'm going to grab my things and get going, but I will see you tomorrow, Wednesday. It is the end of the day, Wednesday. We just got out of a faculty meeting, hence I haven't had much planning in the last 2 days. Now that I think about it, I have so many things I got to get done, including grading some papers, updating my grade book. So tomorrow, I'm going to dedicate time to that and also try to start my planning for next week, which is another 5-day school week. So we had a great day today. Sorry for that long sigh. But no, we didn't have a bad day. We had a great day today. Had a lot of fun with my students. I started with my block 1 this morning, and they worked on a vocabulary activity similar to the one that I showed you that my ESOL students did. And after that, we went ahead and I introduced the Unit 1 Weeks 3 and 4 unit. Yes, we're behind, but we're getting it done. So we did the weekly opener video, the study sync blast, and the read aloud. We also read the shared read, which they had already read last Friday. So it was just a second read with them and just zooming through the spade reading strategy so that they can have that in mind every time we read. I did a lot of think alouds today when it came to reading and understanding what was happening. I also showed them the vocabulary video on the elements of a story, which I forgot to say. I also showed that to my ESOL class yesterday, but I showed it to them today. And I also showed them the idioms vocabulary video because we are working on idioms as well. So this unit, we're working with elements of a story, specifically conflict and how the conflict is solved, the events that lead to the solution of the conflict. So for them, identifying the problem and how it was solved. And then we're also working with oh my gosh, I am so tired, everyone, I'm so tired. We're also working with idioms. There's another thing that we're working on, but right now I am a little foggy because I need to get going and go home for an appointment that I have at 4. But anyway, that's what we ended up doing this morning with my homeroom class. With my ESOL class, my block 2, that they ended the day with me today. They'll start with me tomorrow. We went ahead and we had a class meeting because of different things that I have noticed and have been brought to my attention about maybe students not treating other people with kindness, maybe excluding people and saying some things that are making others feel kind of sad. So I had the counselor come and she did an amazing lesson with them. And after that, I went ahead and gave them the scaffolded shared read, and we did sections 1 and 2. So let me show you what that looks like. So the scaffolded read is one of the resources that Wonders provides for us for ELL students. It basically has the shared selection but broken into sections and using language that will help the students understand it a little better. Each section is broken up with a main question that they will answer at the end. So they'll read this. So that's what we did today. We read that, and then on the back, they answered questions using a word bank. So they have some closed sentences. And when I say closed sentences, I mean CLOZE with a Z. And then, of course, we answered the question. Hold on. Sorry, there's the questions there for that one, and there's a question that they answered. And then we read another part with another main question, and notice that they have a glossary and the words are translated in Spanish. Most of my students are Spanish speakers. And then they answer a certain amount of questions, and then they go ahead and answer the main question again. So tomorrow we're going to catch up or continue from here, section 3, and do the same thing. So they read a little bit, they answer the questions, and that helps them answer the main question. We read another section, that's section 4. Same thing, they answer the questions and then the main question. And then we have section 5 and 6, where they're doing the same thing. And then we do a little practice with the main skill, which is plot conflict, and doing that practice here and answering the plot conflict revisited. That is how I am teaching my ELL class, which is drastically different than how I teach my gifted class, obviously. Next week, at least, is like a catch-up week. So even though I am a little behind, I'm going to catch up next week. And then on week 6 with my gifted class, since week 6 is like an optional week, we're going to go ahead and read a junior grade book's story. So that's going to be great. And that's how I'm infusing the gifted curriculum along with the regular curriculum. All right, so that is basically the gist of what happened today, Wednesday. And I'm going to go, and I'll see you tomorrow, which is like in a few seconds for you. See you then. Welcome to the end of the day, Thursday, and I just finished creating a nice little add-on to my students' writing notebooks that I'll share with you. But I had a great day with the students. This morning I started with my block 2, as I mentioned, and they worked on the vocabulary. This time around I gave them a sentence to complete, and I tried to see how they would do on their own. Some of the students were still struggling, so I opted for, after giving them some time, to try to figure out how to complete the sentence, because I want them to practice writing it in English. I went ahead and together wrote sentences along with them so that they knew how to complete those sentences with the last 4 vocabulary words. And after that, we went ahead and continued with our scaffolded reading for the talent show, and we did 2 more sections. So I'll show you that in a moment. My afternoon group, we started with our vocabulary as well. I give them the same thing that I gave my ELO students. They just had to do it on their own and draw their pictures. And then we went ahead and reviewed the fine text evidence questions for the talent show in their reading writing companion. And then after specials, we continued with writing, and we were writing together some examples of different types of introductions using different types of grabbers or hooks or openers. So I wanted to show you that as well. So let's get to showing you those examples. Starting off with the vocabulary, so we worked on the word humiliated, inspiration, self-esteem, and uncomfortably. And as you can see, I added not just the definition and the synonym, but I also added a sentence to complete. So here is the one for uncomfortably. And here's the one for humiliated and inspiration, so that you can see. Then for the scaffolded shared read, we went ahead and read section 3, if I can get to that page. Goodness. All right, so we read section 3. We went over the glossary. We answered the questions, and we answered the main question, then read section 4 and did the same thing, where we answered the questions and then answered the main question. Just to show you, I have been using little stamps that I got from Amazon just so that I can, and that was a same page, it's just the copy machine did that, just so that I can track how the students are progressing, and they're really loving earning their stamp as they are completing each section. So really, really love these stamps. And this is the stamps right here, or these are the stamps right here. They're 12-piece teacher, homework, school, setting, new, whatever. If I can find the link, I will show you. But I did set this one aside because I wanted to use that for section 5 if we got to it. But we didn't get to it, but it'll be used tomorrow. And then for my block 1, this is the story, the same story, but it is the regular story for them. So we went ahead and completed the fine text evidence and annotated the text. So here you go, so you can have an idea of how we did that and how we completed the questions. I forgot to mention that I had to buy new notebooks because I needed to use the new one, because my old writing notebook for my block 2, my ELL student class, it went missing. The last time I had it was an open house when I showed the parents the examples, and then I left it on my document camera, but I haven't found it. So I had to recreate it. So I had to do the dedication again, the goal that I helped the students create, have the features of the argumentative essay, which is what we're currently working on with the scoring rubric, the prompt we're currently working on, how to analyze it, the notes we took on 2 of the sources, and their planning, which is a little different from what I'm doing with my gifted class. Obviously, I'm just making it short for them. Here's their introduction. Here is, they're only working on 1 paragraph, so they either choose whether they're going for should build in flood zones, and why, or should not build in flood zones and why not, and then they restate their claim in their conclusion. So I have this as an extra just so I know that that is the other one, but for this notebook I'll be writing that they should build in flood zones. And for the notebook with my gifted class, I'm gonna do should not. So this is what I was working on today. As you know, we ended yesterday with writing our introductions. I went ahead and I revised my introduction so it sounded a little better. So I went ahead and I showed them different ways that we have to open or grab our reader's attention. So scenario, global statement, shocking statement, fact-based question, interesting fact, and then I went with each different claim. So this is 5 different examples using that type of opener for this essay. So I went ahead and did that. And for the no, we shouldn't build in flood zones, I created 5 other examples so that they can see different ways that they could have went ahead and written their introduction. So these, depending on their claim, I'm going to go ahead and have them tape it on the left side. I know we were going to leave the left side for revisions, but since this is our first essay, we're just going to tape it here. And if they're going to revise their final essays anyway, I'm going to have them type it. So for now, our introductions, and then we'll add on to our body paragraphs. But I just wanted to show you this neat little thing that I just created today. So that is all I have for today, Thursday, Friday Eve. I'll see you in a few short seconds to let you know how the week ended on Friday. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday, last day of this 5th week of school, coming to you way at the end of the day. And just wanted to let you know how it went. So I started this morning with my block 1, and we went ahead and continued with our writing. We had a really good use of our time this morning. Many students shared their writing. They got to sit on the author's chair. They loved sitting there and reading their introductions, and we gave them feedback using stars and wishes. So we gave them stars, which is things that we really liked about what they wrote in their introduction, and wishes, which are what we wish they would have done in order to improve their writing. And wow, they are such great writers, and I'm very proud of them. We got through many of them, and because of time, I had to cut it short. And I told the rest of them that they could still share their introductions on Monday. So after that, we went ahead and I did a read aloud of Experts Incorporated, and we had a brief discussion on the conflict and how the conflict was solved. So then on Monday, we're just going to pick up with our writing, dive straight into the body paragraph. I'm going to model the first body paragraph for them, and they'll write their own body paragraph for their second reason. And then we will continue with our wonders. Next week is a catch-up week anyway, so I'm going to make sure we catch up with this unit since last week I wasn't here, and also we had testing. So then with my block 2, which I had this afternoon, we started by making sure we finished our scaffolded shared read, and we did. We finished the last couple sections. I continued to stamp their pages as they finish answering questions, and they really love that, and they're really engaged, and I'm speaking to them mostly in English, and they're catching on little by little, so I'm very proud of them. And then we ended the day by reviewing vocabulary and having them watch an idioms video that was on the ELL PowerPoint that the district provides for us. So that is all that I have to share with you for today. The students turned in their homework. I was going to check it today, but I'm just going to go home. I will check it next week. I know I'm giving myself more work next week, but it's going to be fine. It's been a great week. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile.
Hello dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.